We're working on a little bit of scaption here. We've got some full cans, whether you're in bands, whether you've got a pair of weights, sitting on a bench, we want to try to find our spine in the same exact position as that bench. We're going to hold for 30 seconds today. At the beep, we're going to do reps for 30 seconds. Try to maintain a tall, pretty posture. We like the weights on these because it forces you to use these as a suspender, and it should roll the middle to low traps, rhomboids. They should pull that torso up into a tall, pretty spine. We've got a single knee on there. One of the things that we want to encourage is people to relax that low back. A big reason why we've gotten away from doing all of our scaption with bands. A lot of people will start to dominate, pulling specifically through the low back as opposed to concentrating on those shoulders. Hold! 4 rounds, hold for 30 seconds, rep for 30 seconds. We're going to go right knee, left knee, right knee, left knee.
Slide off if I don't use my head.
Second round, we got a little bit of external rotation. We're going to tuck these elbows in, so 0 degrees abduction. We want to try to maintain a retracted shoulder blade. Notice the CrossFit football logo is all scrunched up. We want him nice and tight in there. We want to maintain that as the athletes are going to do external rotation. So we want to try to protect these shoulder blades staying together. We want the least amount of protraction and the most amount of external rotation. Have the athletes slow down significantly and work on this. Think of this as a stretch. So rolling these suckers out, maintaining good retracted shoulder blades, trying to stay off of the upper traps, especially if they're sore from doing cleans yesterday. External rotation, and notice we've got still a single leg. We want to try to stay off the low back. There's your 30-second beep. Switch and hold. Now we're going to go 90-degree abduction. This is number 3 and 4, so they reset, come back to the other knee, and they're going to set up, shoulders abducted. Now keep in mind they can either go to that field goal position. If the athletes can't maintain staying off of the upper traps, then we can bring it down into more of a W. But the goal is to stay retracted and then work on external rotation. The belly button should be stayed nice and tucked in, drawn in off of that bench, but the spine should be parallel. Smooth and easy. We want to go ahead and roll those up, externally rotate. Notice a lack of movement in the spine. We've got an elongated spine, a good long axis to rotate those humerus on. So nice and tall and pretty. Don't pull from the low back. Keep that sternal line nice and high. We want to encourage that and set that precedence and tone. Most people will fail on any heavy primal, so we want to try to establish from day one that they're going to keep that sternal line nice and high. Switch! This is number 4 of 4. Switching knees and big hold. Tall, pretty posture. Make sure you got a plane of glass right in front of your sternal, pubic bone all the way up through the nose so that you are not twisting or flexing forward. We've got 30 seconds worth of lateral flexion. Treat this like a stretch. Wherever you want to put your feet, as long as your toes are facing forward, put it on the bench, switch those over, and 30 seconds on the left side. And we're going to go ahead and switch it. Right side for 30, left side for 30. Go through 2 rounds of this. Treat this as stretching with weights. Slow it down so we get a big long stretch on one side. Use the same musculature you just stretched to close it off. Tall, pretty posture. Make sure you're lifting that sternal line. Pull it over. Point to the camera if you can. Make sure that your midsection is super tight. Switch hands and go. 1 more on each side. Halfway there. Second half of the weight room complex. We got some muscle ups, some barbell up and overs. Now, very, very certain we're going to use this as an opportunity to develop a very, very complete athlete. We've got a good squat, a good athletic catch. So coming off of that high bar, really want to focus in on driving your butt back to avoid an excessive amount of internal or external rotation of those femurs. Now the jumping up portion, make sure we're going to concentrate on pulling those traps back and down. So give me a good scapular depression and then lever yourself up. A lot of you swimmers, combat swimmers, competitive pool swimmers, open water swimmers will recognize this. We've got a good squat position, an early catch phase where we're going to go ahead and pull yourself over top of that entry point. So set those hands, scapular depression, and then pull yourself up and over. Regardless of how many or how little you can do, we want to set a tall, pretty posture at the top. So pull that up and over. The least amount of jumping as possible according to your level of athleticism. Big jump up, big pull, And establish a tall, pretty posture. Land with the tall, pretty posture. Beautiful. You've got 7 seconds left. This is 2 minutes worth of work. We don't care how you break it up, but every time you pull the trigger should be very athletic, very powerful, very fast. Clear! All right, we got a little bit of ankle prehab. We've got, you should actually go knees all the way in because you're on the inside hook. So let's get those knees in. And you don't even have to hug. You can put your hands on the ground. Now from this position, what we're looking for is the knees should be held in. And we're going to try to drive external rotation of those ankles. So he's going to hold that. A lot of bend in the knees, so that way we take all the tension off the hips and the knees. And we're just going to work on rotation of those ankles. There should be a nice little cramp going on through here. All this musculature should get really tight. A lot of you athletes and a lot of you guys that have come out to our seminars have talked about how do I fix navicular drop. This would be one of the corrective exercises. We've got to work on those perineals, all the muscles on the outside of that lower leg, and allow some of this to stretch and recover so that we get a little bit more stress going to the musculature as opposed to just forcing all those ligaments to take a lot of the stress. So if you can work on all these tiny little muscles, that'll allow your body to redirect a lot of the force that instead of just going to the knees and just the ankles or just the hips, allow that musculature to absorb a lot of it. When we're done with all of this good stuff, we can do it out of beep. We can go toes down as well. So we can go plantar flex, and we're going to point those toes down. Exact same principle. The only difference is we're going to elongate this line. So a lot of you swimmers that need to balance this out, a lot of our dry land program that doesn't allow you to be very successful because of that excessive amount of internal external rotation of that femur from a plantar flex position, that you'll find this a lot more comfortable. Holding this position of rolling those out, and whenever you hear the beep, 30 seconds, go! And we're going to smoothly roll these out. Think about sweeping the big toe along the floor. Sweeping the big toe along the floor, pushing that out. Pushing that out. Now all of these can be done on the inside hooks, which is external rotation or any type of movement outside of that framework, as well as the inside hooks and working on the opposing musculature of going internal rotation or that supination, pronation, whatever band, the origin of whatever band that's on. All right, we've got that posterior chain. We've got a little bit of stability ball bridge and roll for that posterior chain. We're going to smoothly roll that ball up, leading with the hips, so don't let those hips drop, because we want to try to get the hamstrings and teach those hamstrings how to not just flex the knee, but also to extend the hip. A lot of sprint mechanics and acceleration is broken down because of our athletes' inability to utilize that hamstring as a hip extender, not just a knee flexor. And most people forget that just standard anatomy books will tell you that the hamstring is just a knee flexor, but it is the dominant hip extender with those glutes. So try to keep that knee internally rotated for me, Cosgrove. Don't let that sucker go out wide. I don't care what your promiscuous lifestyle allows you to do outside of this, but in here we want to try to bring that in. Keep that knee internally rotated so it stays in line with the hip as a neutral hip line, knee line, and ankle line. Smoothly bring it up, up, up. Now the last piece of the puzzle is to pull that heel off by pushing that toe into the floor, which ends up being a ball. 2 minutes of this. Second half of the exercise, what we're looking for is a single arm back pedal. So we're going to technically simulate a single leg foot drag. Once we get all the way to that last cone, we're going to flip this over. So we're going to work on a little bit of dexterity. They're going to flip this over, pluck out the carabiner, clip it on the opposite side. At some point in time, all the tactical guys should be doing this with their gloves. And under duress, under time, we want to go ahead and plant, dive, and drive. Push, push, push. Good, B. Push, push, push. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Oh, God. You got to go, B. You got to go. Turn and burn. Go, go, go. You got to do the other arm. At that point in time, second half of the complex, we're going to go ahead and pluck that out. Flip that back over. Withstand the attack from the pit bull. All right, here we go.
Got a squat jump. I'm going to take that dumbbell. We're going to go big halo over our head and a good slash, trying to protect those knees and those hips.
Reestablish.
Going for a full minute on this, a full minute.
Now, see right there how you
He's
jump?
going to
You don't
switch
have to
the
do
side
that.
of his
Stop
halo.
after every one. So one jump, stick. Pause. One big halo. Chop. Stand up. One big squat jump. Stick. One big halo. Chop.
Big halo. We want to move the hips, the
Beautiful.
shoulders,
One big squat jump.
everything, and then control that with the slash.
3,
Control those
2,
hips.
1. Roll out of there.
They're
Here we
immediately
go.
going to be
Leaders.
on
Let's get those
static
bars.
hold.
Beautiful. It's all pretty posture. Keep your belly button drawn in. It's a static hold, but we still want you to concentrate on drawing your belly button in and that knee and toe forward. Keep your hips neutral.
We're going to be in a staggered stance to take a little bit of pressure off that lower back. Holding that bar above your head. He's going to switch his feet on that 30-second beat.
Stagger, we still want to try to keep your shoulders forward. Maintaining tall, pretty posture. Keep your shoulders forward. You've got 17 seconds, Jason.
Almost
Hold
there,
steady.
Jason.
Stay in there.
He's going to stay
Tall,
inside the
pretty
safeties
posture.
in case he's got
Tall,
a crash.
pretty posture. Tall, pretty posture. Hold that for 5, 4,
Yeah,
3,
Jason.
2,
They're immediately going to head
1.
outside and be on their T-spine rotation.
Hold that tall, pretty posture. Maintain that pinch. And then reset those hips. Receive in a punch position or a push-up catch.
He's going to rotate, shoot that dumbbell straight to the
pinch,
sky.
pinch,
Try to rotate
pinch,
back while he
and
pinches that
receive.
shoulder.
Beautiful.
And
Very
receive
good.
that dumbbell all the way down.
30 more seconds, guys. Beautiful.
No?
Hold up
You're
nice
good.
and high. Now it's just same thing as a plyo catch. You catch higher, you catch lower. There's not patterns. So you catch it soft.
Going for a full minute again. Everything
Hold that.
in this one is a minute.
If you are what you say you are, a
Superstar.
then have no fear.
3, 2, 1.
Blood. They're going to be on their runs from their card draw.
30 seconds to get all the way there and back twice. It's a full gasser. They're back. They're back. Push, push, push. Now that is moving for you, Maggie. 30 seconds on a full gasser. You better hustle. Go with Jason. Go with Craig. Push, push, push. Dive and drive. Hurry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's the second one? You're 3, 2, 1. Say go. Big dive, big dive. Push.
They drew 4 cards before the speed con. They have to memorize the 4 cards. Now each card has their own rule.
That's it.
So they have 4 total runs for each card. If it's a face card, they're going back pedal, which they're doing now. So somebody drew a face card. If it was red, it's shuffle right to sprint. If it's a black, it's shuffle left. Same thing with the back pedal. If it's a red or a black face card, it depends on which foot you plant with. Number 3 coming up here. If they draw a joker, it's a full gasser. Looks like they drew another face card. Now notice they're going long to short. If it's odd, it's long to short. If it's short to long, it was an even draw. So they have to remember the rules and remember their cards. Trying to work on being able to think while they're tired. Go! Clear.